As an old player who had his love for this game revitalized, today I have been on a journey relearning and learning a bunch of cards that I've never heard about before. And today we are going to be learning about the Aroma archetype, a card and a bunch of cards that I've never heard about before, don't know when they came out. I stopped playing this game around the pendulum, around the Link era, and today we're going to be reacting to them all for you. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with many YouTube channels. We're going to start off right here with Aroma Jar. Again, never heard about any of these before, okay? If this card is flipped face up, it cannot be destroyed by battle while it is face up on the field. If this card is flipped face up during each player's end phase, you gain 500 life points, okay? Not a good card. I don't know if there's going to be any support for it. I don't know if this is the main part of it, being Aroma Jar. Don't know nothing about these cards, okay? But now we have a little bit more of a monster over here. And I'm a little bit, it says core over here. I don't know if that's just, regardless, it's besides the point, okay? It is a level 6 monster, 2400 attack points. While your life points is higher than your opponent's, if a plant type monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Once per turn, if you gain life points, this card gains 1000 attacking defense until the end of your opponent's next turn. So I wonder if this is all going to be playing on the idea with something like Aroma Jar, where you just consistently, like, you gain life points, and then something happens because you gained that life points. I don't know. I'm interested. Let's continue on with some of these cards, okay? We also have the next, do you say, Aromage? I see, Aromage. So I don't know if we're going to have Aroma cards and the Aromage cards, which are a little bit more of the monsters, but I like the artwork for this one. I think it looks pretty cool, okay? While your life points is higher than your opponent's, face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 500 attack and defense. Once per turn, if you gain life points, target one spell or trap card your opponent controls, return to the hand. I can see it being a helpful card, and honestly, I'm a big fan, and I always have a big fan of things like Burden of the Mighty, where it's just like a little bit attack point reduction that, or vice versa, like if you have something that has your monsters gain attack points, I think that's like way more helpful than people make it out to be. I always talk about like United We Stand being one of my favorite cards, okay? I think that's a sneaky helpful card, but the problem is you might have difficulties keeping it on the field. And I already know that I wouldn't like playing this deck because I am also a big fan of all the Solemn cards. If there's a format where I can have 3 Solemn Judgments, give them all to me, okay? We also have Aromage Jackson, I almost said Jasmine. During your main phase, while your life points are higher than your opponent's, you can normal summon one plant monster in addition to your normal summon set, except for this card. You can only gain this effect once per turn. Once per turn, if you gain life points, draw one card. Okay. I wasn't thinking that it was all that great at first, but in general, like, just to have that effect alone, if you gain life points, draw one card, incredible. Dude, you know what else I like using that I think is a little bit of an underrated card? And oftentimes, I throw, like, one of these into my decks because I like the Solemn Judgment so much, and I'm, like, so quick to start paying my own life points. I put one Draining Shield in some of my decks just to have that little bit of a boost, because now you have all of these monsters, too, that's, like, 3,000, 4,000 attack, you just gain that life point boost. I could see you running something like 3 Draining Shields inside of this deck. Let's continue on to the next Aromage. If your life points are higher than your opponent's, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you gain life points, target one non-tuner plant monster in the field and is treated as a tuner this turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can gain 500 life points. You can only use each effect once per turn. So far, like, these cards have the okay effects, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Like, what if you, like, have a bad draw or something and your opponent starts attacking you? Then you won't be able to use a lot of these effects because your life points are lower than your opponent's. Very weird. This is a cool piece of artwork over here. Huh, okay. So we have 2 effects for this one. Level 5 monster. While your life points are higher than your opponent's, you take no battle damage from attacks involving your plant monsters. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. Now, what's interesting about this too is you can actually sneak this into some of the plant decks because plants oftentimes work with themselves, right? When a plant monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card from your hand, then gain 500 life points. If you gain life points, target cards your opponent's graveyard up to the number of Aroma monsters you control, banish them. Pretty good card. Pretty good card. I'd have to play around with that to see like how much it actually is pretty helpful, but I like the special summon effect. I like the if you gain life points effect. I think it's an okay card. I think it's okay, okay? Let's continue on to the next Aromage over here. While your life points are higher than your opponent's, if a plant monster you control attacks, your opponent cannot activate monster effects until the end of the damage step. Once per turn, if you gain life points, target one face-up monster in the field, changes battle position. I get that it could be situational depending on what your opponent's monsters do during the battle phase, but just to change the attack position or the battle position of a monster, I don't think is like usually that helpful. Again, a little bit situational, not something that I might run, okay? We also have a fusion monster here, okay? Which looks to be changing up the names a little bit, okay? So we have one Aroma monster and one plant monster. While your life points are higher than your opponent's, plant monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, you can pay 2,000 life points, banish cards on the field equal to the number of, humid winds, dried winds, and blessed winds you control, which I'm guessing are cards we're going to take a look at. Once per turn, if you gain life points, even during the damage step, you can make all plant monsters you control gain attack equal to the life points gained until the end of the turn. This is a strong card. Now, I'm interested to see if this archetype has its own fusion card, or if you have to rely on polymerization for something like this. But even if you have to rely on polymerization, it's not difficult to get out because there's one Aroma monster and one plant monster. That's going to be very easy to get if you're running an Aroma-based deck. So the fusion card is very, very helpful so far. Let's continue on to the next one. Okay, we're not keeping up with the names over here. We have the Rosalina card over here, okay? This is a quick effect. You can discard this card, then target one Aroma monster you control, gain life points equal to half its attack. If this card is normal special summon, you can special summon one non-tuner Aroma monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except plant monsters. You can only use effect once per turn. Nah, not worth it. Not worth it. I get it. Again, some of these effects, like, they definitely have their uses for them, but this is one card that I'd probably skip out on. Okay, this is definitely a newer archetype then, because now we have a Link monster, okay? You just need 2 plant monsters. If this card is special summon, you can add 1 Aroma card from your deck to your hand. If you gain life points even during the damage step, you can special summon up to 3 Aroma monsters from your hand to your zones this card points to. You contribute 1 monster this card points to, then target 1 card on the field and banish it. And if you do, gain 1,000 life points. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay. I was wondering if it was going to be pointing to your opponent's monsters, which it clearly isn't. I like the fact that you have to think about using, because you have to, like, think about the cards that you're getting rid of, because some of them have their effects when they go to the graveyard. You gain so many life points, but it's a cool card. I think this one's okay. I still like the fusion a little bit better, but let's continue on to the next Aroma card. Okay. We're just changing up everything. During either player's turn, you can discard this card, then target 1 Aroma monster in your graveyard, and gain life points equal to that target's attack. While your life points is higher than your opponent's, you control an Aroma monster and this card in your graveyard. You can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. I don't know. It's a tuner monster. You could probably get a synchro out. I wonder if we have any synchros for this archetype. I would imagine there's some synchro monsters with the Aroma cards, but I have to see. If there's a strong synchro monster that's an option, then I think it's a good card. Otherwise, then I think it's like, it's just okay. We also have another Link monster. If your life points are higher than your opponent's, this card and any plant monsters it points to cannot be destroyed by battle. You contribute 1 monster this card points to, special summon 1 plant monster from your deck in defense position. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once per turn, if you gain life points, add 1 plant monster from your deck to your hand. This is a much better card. And the more that we're going through these cards, the more that I'm kind of realizing that this would probably work in, like, a plant hybrid deck. You could have a main plant deck with things like Lone Fire Blossom, even the Titanial cards or the Talia cards. You could use those cards that you typically see in the plant decks, and if you're feeling ballsy, have an Aturia card. And I'm sure there's been plant monsters that have been beyond my time with this game that are pretty useful. But I think this would work more as a hybrid than it would for just an Aroma deck by itself, okay? Let's continue on. We also do have a Synchro monster. I feel like we've taken a look at some multiple Rosemary cards. Maybe it's... Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to pay too much attention to it. While your life points is higher than your opponent's, all plant monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. Once per turn, if you gain life points, target 1 face-up card your opponent controls. That face-up card has effects negated until the end of this turn. I think it's an okay card. I like, again, having all of your monsters or all your plant-type monsters gain 500 attack and defense, and I can't remember what it was. We have another card that either increased all the attack or reduced all the attack of your opponent's monsters, but I'm pretty sure it reduced, which would mean that's a good 1,000. That's a major, major, major difference if you have it all out, okay? We also have another... I feel like we've seen Sweet Marjoram. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that name, to be honest with you. But anyways, while your life points are higher than your opponent cannot target plain monsters you control with card effects. You can only use each effect once per turn. If this card is synchro summoned, you can add 1 human winds, dried winds, or blessed winds from your deck to your hand. I'm assuming those are cards that are very, very important to the archetype. If you gain life points, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Great card so far. I really like that, and I love the fact that while your life points are higher than your opponent's, you have that protection with all card effects. I think this is one of the strongest cards that we've taken a look at so far, and this is absolutely something that you should be looking into summoning, okay? So we have Aroma Blend. Very cool, very, very cool artwork on these cards, by the way, okay? Discard 1 card, place 1 human winds, dried winds, or blessed winds from your hand, your deck, face up, spell, and trap, so from your hand or deck, face up in your spell and trap card zone. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon 1 plant fusion monster from your action deck by banishing its materials from your hand or field. If your life points are higher than your opponent's, you can also banish plant monsters from your graveyard as a material. Great fusion card. Great fusion card. Very easy to work with. This is what I was thinking about, okay? So it looks like I have to take a look at what those dried wind cards are too. Could you imagine if they're like complete disappointments and it's something like the Blaze Accelerator, you know, the volcanic monsters, they all revolve around this like spell card that's just only Blaze Accelerator. I know the support over the years has gotten a little bit better, but you get my point, okay? The fusion summon card is okay. We also have field spell being Aroma Garden. Once per turn, if you control an Aroma monster, you gain 500 life points. You can gain 500 life points. Also, all monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense until the end of your opponent's next turn, even if this card leaves the field. If a face-up Aroma monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, gain 1000 life points. Great field spell card for the deck. Great field spell. You get to gain life points, which triggers some effects. You constantly gain the 500 attack and defense. I think it is a very, very good field spell, definitely worth using, okay? We also have Aroma Gardening. These cards seem like so happy. They're like a bunch of wholesome pieces of art, okay? If you normal summon or special summon an Aroma monster or monsters except during the damage step, you can gain 1000 life points. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, while your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon one Aroma monster from your deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, finally, we have a card that's a little bit of a saving grace if your life points are lower than your opponent's. I feel like you would need to put like 3 copies of Draining Shield in this deck. I feel like that's completely necessary. I like that you have an effect based on higher or lower. And when you just summon one, you gain 1000 life points. I'm interested to see, like, I want to find out how good these actually are, like this whole archetype, because it's very interesting and I see the potential there. I just don't know how well it would be in practice. We also have Aroma Healing. Gain 1000 life points for each Aroma monster you control with a different name. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Aroma monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field, then gain 500 life points. You can only use this effect once per turn, one healing effect per turn and only once that turn. This card's phenomenal. I like it when instead you're getting 500 life points, you gain the 1000 life points, and even then gain 1000 life points for each Aroma monster you control. So that could really like change the tide. But even then, just having like that many life points could be, you know, majorly helpful. Okay. I like this. It's like another monster reborn with a great effect, and it has the effect in the graveyard. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We have Blessed Winds, okay? You can only activate one of the following effects. Send ends a continuous trap. Send one plant monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, gain 500 life points. Target one plant monster in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then gain 500 life points. Pay 1000 life points to special summon one Aroma monster from your graveyard. You can only use each of this effect to Blessed Winds once per turn. Okay, did you mean... Okay, so it's not part of the points. I was a little bit confused because I was like, when do you actually use these effects? But it looks like you can use one of them once per turn. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a little bit lackluster. This is one of the cards that it all revolves around. Like, it's okay. I like the variety with the effects, but nothing's sticking out to me. Nothing's making me go crazy for it. Okay, let's check out Dried Winds over here, okay? Another continuous trap. If you gain life points, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy it. If you control an Aroma monster and your life points is at least 3,000 higher than your opponent's, you can pay life points equal to the difference to destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls, whose combined attack is less than or equal to the life points that you paid to activate this effect. Little bit better. I would prefer to not pay the difference, but it's a good option to have if you need that nuclear option, right? But I do like the regular effect, like it's a continuous trap, and if you gain life points, which is often, you can just destroy an opponent's monster. For that alone, it's completely worth it. But you can also have that kind of saving grace effect as well. We also have Humid Winds over here. You can pay 1000 life points, add one Aroma monster from your deck to your hand. If your life points is lower than your opponent's, you can gain 500 life points. You can only use each effect once per turn. A little bit better, but still a little bit lackluster in my opinion. I like the last card that we took a look at, Dried Winds. These 3 cards that the deck kept emphasizing about, it actually did turn out to be a little bit of a Blaze Accelerator type thing. But the deck's very interesting. I'm interested if this archetype ever ended up working, and it seems a little bit clear to me that this works best when you incorporate it with another plant base. So even if you want to have like 75% about the Aroma cards and then have a bunch of extra plant type monsters, I think that's where the deck probably works best. But if you want to continue learning about more cards with me, then why don't you check out this video on screen right here. I'd love to have you over there. Thank you for watching the video, everybody. Take care, guys.